House of the Dragon is a renowned historical fantasy drama centered on the brutal struggle for power within House Targaryen. The story explores themes of succession, family conflict, loyalty, betrayal, ambition, and political intrigue. Every character acts according to their own beliefs, personal ambitions, and sense of duty, leading the kingdom towards a devastating civil war. In this ruthless contest for the Iron Throne, relationships, love, mercy, justice, and honor are constantly put to the test. In the scene under discussion, several key figures including Rhaenyra Targaryen, Alicent Hightower, Aemond Targaryen, and Criston Cole express their ambitions and convictions through powerful dialogue. Their words not only reveal the depth of their personalities but also foreshadow the intensity of the coming conflict and the growing political crisis. Each character firmly believes that their own cause is just, making the struggle for power even more dangerous and complex. This analysis examines the personalities, psychology, leadership qualities, strengths, weaknesses, and narrative importance of these major characters, helping us understand how their decisions gradually reshape the destiny of the Seven Kingdoms. Underscore 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 un. Rhaenyra Targaryen. Rhaenyra Targaryen stands at the very heart of the story and is undoubtedly its most influential character. She is far more than a queen or a claimant to the Iron Throne. Instead, she represents responsibility, determination, sacrifice, justice, and legitimate leadership. Although she speaks only a few lines in this particular scene, those words reveal several important aspects of her character. When she asks, "Did I not show you mercy?" she reminds her opponents that she once chose compassion instead of revenge. This simple sentence highlights her humanity, patience, and belief in justice. At the same time, it reveals that repeated betrayal and rebellion have finally pushed her patience to its limits. One of Rhaenyra's defining qualities is her unwavering confidence. She firmly believes that she is the rightful heir to the Iron Throne, and every decision she makes stems from that conviction. For her, the throne is not merely a symbol of political power, it represents justice, family legacy, and the fulfillment of her father's wishes. This certainty gives her remarkable strength and enables her to confront every obstacle with courage. She possesses many of the qualities expected of a great ruler. She is decisive, resilient, forward-thinking, and deeply committed to her cause. Rather than allowing uncertainty to weaken her resolve, she consistently focuses on the greater objective of protecting both her family and the realm. Another remarkable aspect of Rhaenyra's personality is her ability to balance mercy with authority. Initially, she repeatedly offers forgiveness and opportunities for reconciliation, hoping to avoid unnecessary bloodshed. However, as she realizes that her kindness is being mistaken for weakness, she gradually adopts a firmer and more uncompromising stance. This transformation represents significant psychological growth. Rhaenyra comes to understand that compassion alone cannot sustain a kingdom. A successful ruler must also possess the courage to make painful decisions when the safety of the realm demands it. From a psychological perspective, Rhaenyra lives under relentless pressure. She is surrounded by enemies who refuse to acknowledge her legitimacy, constantly plotting to overthrow her and seize the throne. Yet despite facing betrayal, political manipulation, and personal loss, she never abandons her claim or her principles. Her resilience is one of her greatest strengths. Although emotions naturally influence many of her choices, she does not allow them to dominate her judgment. Instead, she carefully evaluates each situation before acting, demonstrating a level of maturity that distinguishes her from many other characters in the story. Another admirable trait is her profound sense of responsibility. She is not fighting solely for personal ambition or glory. She genuinely believes she is protecting the future of House Targaryen and safeguarding the stability of the realm. This deep sense of duty keeps her determined, even when the sacrifices become almost unbearable. Her character teaches an important lesson about leadership. A true leader does not run from responsibility but faces hardship with courage, regardless of the personal cost. However, Rhaenyra is not without flaws. At times, she places too much trust in people who ultimately betray her. Her compassion and willingness to forgive are often interpreted as signs of weakness by her enemies, allowing them to exploit her generosity. These moments of misplaced trust repeatedly expose her to conspiracies and rebellion. Ironically, these imperfections make her character feel even more realistic. Like any human being, she is neither flawless nor invincible. Her mistakes add emotional depth and authenticity to her journey. Symbolically, Rhaenyra represents justice, rightful leadership, determination, and the struggle of a woman fighting for her legitimate place in a world dominated by political rivalry and patriarchal traditions. Her story demonstrates that true leadership requires far more than strength alone. Wisdom, patience, sacrifice, responsibility, and moral conviction are equally essential. Despite overwhelming adversity, she refuses to abandon her principles, making her one of the most compelling and memorable figures in the entire narrative. Overall, Rhaenyra Targaryen emerges as a confident, intelligent, resilient, and dignified leader. Her compassion, sense of justice, determination, and remarkable leadership qualities define her as the central figure of the story. At the same time, her human flaws make her relatable and believable, ensuring that her journey remains emotionally engaging throughout the series. Alicent Hightower. Alicent Hightower is one of the most significant and complex figures in House of the Dragon. She is far more than a member of the royal family. She is a skilled political strategist determined to preserve her family's future and protect what she believes rightfully belongs to them. Her personality is shaped by a combination of love, fear, duty, intelligence, and unwavering determination, making her one of the series' most fascinating characters. In the scene under discussion, Alicent states, "Rhaenyra sits upon the throne now. It is her rule. We should have burned them when we had the chance." This single statement reveals several layers of her character. On one hand, she accepts the reality that Rhaenyra currently holds power. On the other, she regrets the decisions of the past, believing that showing mercy to political rivals was a costly mistake. In Alicent's eyes, kindness towards one's enemies often becomes a dangerous weakness that threatens the survival of an entire family. One of Alicent's greatest strengths is her political awareness. Unlike many characters driven purely by emotion, she carefully evaluates situations through the lens of power and long-term strategy. Even when her decisions appear harsh, she believes they are necessary to secure her family's future and maintain political stability. She understands that in royal politics, even the smallest sign of weakness can encourage ambitious rivals. For this reason, she values caution, discipline, and decisive action above sentimentality. Another important aspect of Alicent's personality is her role as a devoted mother. Much of what she does is motivated not by personal ambition but by her determination to protect her children. Every political move she makes is influenced by her desire to ensure their safety, inheritance, and future. This maternal instinct often forces her to make difficult choices that outsiders may view as cruel. Yet from her perspective, these sacrifices are essential for the survival of her family. Psychologically, Alicent is a woman living under constant pressure and uncertainty. She fears that if her political opponents gain complete control, her family's honor, security, and even their lives may be destroyed. These fears gradually reshape her personality. Over time, she becomes increasingly cautious, suspicious, and willing to take severe measures before her enemies can act against her. Despite these internal struggles, Alicent possesses remarkable patience. Rather than reacting impulsively, she usually observes events carefully before making her move. Although she is not a warrior on the battlefield, her influence within the political arena rivals that of any military commander. She fights with strategy rather than swords. She builds alliances, manipulates political circumstances, and uses diplomacy as effectively as others use weapons. However, Alicent is not without weaknesses. Her greatest flaw lies in the fear that often influences her judgment. She frequently assumes the worst about her opponents, believing that conflict is inevitable. As a result, opportunities for peace and reconciliation gradually disappear. Her inability to fully trust others often escalates tensions instead of resolving them. Symbolically, Alicent represents political realism, family loyalty, and the difficult sacrifices required to preserve power. Her character demonstrates that ruling a kingdom demands far more than courage. It requires planning, negotiation, alliances, and, at times, painful decisions. She also illustrates the constant conflict between personal emotions and political responsibility. In her world, love and duty rarely coexist peacefully. Overall, Alicent Hightower cannot simply be described as either a villain or a hero. Every decision she makes is driven by a combination of fear, logic, responsibility, and maternal devotion. Whether one agrees with her methods or not, her motivations remain understandable. This moral complexity is precisely what makes he.
For more epic to like, for more epic breakdowns, till next time, every story leaves a legacy.